Chris Stafford came over to this parking lot, and I'm sure it's all innocent, but until that's worked out with his anger issues and that firearm, I'm not comfortable. I don't mean that as an insult. Take me to Tillamookkk Public Library.
Tillamookkk County Library. All right.
Now, with him being in this parking lot, I'm relocating, I guess, to the other parking lot to the other side.
Tillamookkk County Library may be closed by the time you arrive.
I haven't heard any of the onions over there, so going completely around where Chris is. The message that's on the screenshot of this is from Amanda. He knows her last name. I don't. He had her trespassed from here. Of course, using his power, but I don't see it that way. Well, I guess there was 2 users vehicles, clearly. They kind of put Tillamookkk on the map here this week, haven't they? And something on the ground over there looks like either a big bill or maybe a candy wrapper. Anyway, I was hoping to charge up my phone over there enough that there's a cop going by. I was hoping to charge up my phone enough here that I could make that full video and break down the Nicole conversation, just like I try to do with all y'all. I'm in a pretty messed up situation, and a lot of autistic people. We have to try to basically choreograph what we're saying ahead of time, so that if we're talked over, that we can still find our place because we've practiced it. We've practiced it. When they try to talk about us as if it's not our fault, or as if it's our fault, or they try to change the subject, or say, have you gone here, have you gone there? You know, when the victim first comes to you, what you need to do is just listen, not offer advice. I didn't ask these people for advice. I came to her because, yeah, I need the state police to do their fucking jobs. This corruption, I've already been sent about this corruption. These are bias-based crimes, the ones that the youth are committing, as well as the city and state government. You got to hear how one man, well, we got to hear him on my channel. That guy Radio, some of the church feeds at the last Seventh-day Adventist feed before this, just last week, he was there. You could hear somebody talking to him. He wasn't feeling too good. You got to hear the other week when he came up and he wanted to use my phone to call his dad. Yeah, that guy. The day I went to try to take care of all that stuff in court, I also talked to him on his way back from the hospital. He was at the Seventh-day Adventist church a few weeks ago, and he was sick. And so they took him to the hospital, and then they told a bunch of stories about him that didn't happen. And he was telling me about that, and how they took all of his stuff, and his phone was, like I said, it's pretty overwhelming. I'm pretty sure if I go up to the corner market for, I don't know what time it even is. 10:33. Yeah. If I leave here for about 30 minutes, that'll give me some time to charge up my phone, hopefully. And by then, Chris Stafford shouldn't be here anymore. He should be moved on to elsewhere. With Amanda letting me know that he was threatening violence against me and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's a pretty freaky situation. Now, she also knows that I back my shit up and that I record it. And like many other people, she was not happy about it. Of course, me recording her and recording Chris is the thing that's going to save her bacon in this situation. Eventually, I started name calling back, and you get to see the point with everybody where I start name calling. Your words don't matter, the victims do. Your opinions don't matter, the victims do. And you do not get to dictate what the victim tells you and what they don't. You do not get to interrupt them repeatedly to pretend that something is a civil matter when it's not. When the civil places are going to tell you it's a criminal matter. But all of them are going to tell you it's not their job. It's somebody else's. And all those somebody else's all say it's not their job either. And instead of working together so they know what these other agencies are doing, well, they already know what these other agencies are doing. And they're all turning a blind eye. And they're all changing the rules. They talk over me. And try to insinuate things are a way that they're not. Like Chris. Constantly doing that shit. He's got his own fantasy world. For me, not being able to trust the police because of bias against the homeless. And for me being victimized by the public into homelessness, as well as being victimized by these services that are supposedly supposed to help us, but all they do is send us around in circles. And then when we tell people that we're being sent around in circles, those people want to say, "Oh, you're talking in circles." No, you're talking over me. Anyway, 30 minutes ought to be good. I have had people yell racial slurs at me while I was at the center market.
Head west on Wilson
But
River Loop toward US 101 North, then turn left
I
onto US
documented it
101 South.
and made sure that it was on
Turn left
Facebook
onto
and
US
YouTube
101
because
South, Main Avenue.
you see how the phone talking to me distracts me, right? There's no youngins down there, so it ought to be a quiet night. I just gotta wait for Chris to be done down
Continue
there.
on US 101 South for 1 mile.
I don't know where he lives and I don't care. They haven't repeatedly moved from one place to another, to another, to another. You don't stop to recognize that it keeps me from having the money to start over. And that reputation follows me everywhere and is used against me to prevent me from being able to speak up, being allowed to speak up. A lot of people make mistakes, but you know what? The ones who admit to it are the ones that are worth listening to. Brian's got no incentive to help. He's got these pieces of brass that he's carrying around saying it's gold. He's got this story of a leather box that he's got. Now that's plausible. Much of the problem here is that when I went to turn it in the first time to each and every one of these agencies, the first time is all you get. If you betray the victim's trust the first time, that's all you get. Asking them to trust you again is just wrong. And I'm trying to trust Nicole. I already know to. I already know that it's a smart idea.
Take the next right onto 1st Street, then turn left on
And that thing was going to Nicole Vertner and also having issues with the situation with Amanda and the situation with Chris. That's scary as hell.
Then your destination will be on the left.
And all the calls that I've made to all different places about these things, they're just ignored. I have to be able to provide myself with resources that I no longer have because I spend all of my resources running around all these places that are supposed to be resources. It makes no sense. Stuff that's obvious to me, and obvious to James, and obvious to Mandy Sayer is apparently not obvious to the people who are supposed to train to fucking know better. Actually, I'm gonna park on the side. That does put my vehicle in a slightly unsafer situation. But also, these people are nice to me. I know my vehicle is ugly and unsightly. And if I park on the side, well, it doesn't make their business look as unsightly just because I shop here. Also, with a lot of the stuff that I have to hear about how they're Muslims and they're evil, basically, like I said, it's a racist fucking town. The reason people that are in this town come here is because it's the only place open this late. The only place open 24 hours in all of Tillamook. Anyway, I'm going to end this, and I'm going to hopefully have it, charge up. One of the things that sucks is when you're trying to remember something and somebody tries to do the guessing game. Yeah, don't do the fucking guessing game. Just give me a second, okay? Just give me a second. Obviously, I see no predators here. I don't see any of my predators here. I don't see any other vehicles parked here. It ought to be a reasonably safe place. And of course, I don't have to spend much to be here. With Chris Stafford and the gun and the stuff that he's pulled on Amanda, don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily like Amanda's personality, but at least she's pretty fucking direct. With Chris Stafford, you know, I've heard from Amanda her story. I've also heard from her mother about Chris stealing her mom's gun. And with him being a felon and having access to a firearm, well, that's kind of like the schizophrenic in Nebraska having access to an AR-15. He's got a hateful grudge against his father-in-law, ex-father-in-law, something like that. And that hateful grudge is not something that, well, if he doesn't take his meds or he decides to get fucked up on meth, what's to stop him from killing somebody? Meanwhile, I know for a fact that that gun exists because I was blackmailed into making it. Before I ever made it, I went and spoke to Megan Misigatis, who was supposed to be my advocate. No matter what, I called the places that I was supposed to call. I jumped through the hoops I was supposed to jump through. And no matter what, it was nobody's job.